Have you ever felt that life is unfair? Why are some people born into wealth while others struggle every day? Why do others have everything while you have nothing? If you had power, could you change your fate? Today, I will tell you the story of a man who spent his life blaming the world until fate presented him with an opportunity. But when the moment of truth arrived, did he have the courage to take it? A powerful lesson about fate, responsibility, and the power of action. Let's uncover this story together. Once upon a time in a wealthy kingdom, there was a beggar who lived near the city gate. Every day he would complain, "Why am I so poor? Why do others have everything while I have nothing? If I were the king, I would change everything." At first, some kind-hearted people sympathized with him and offered food or money. But no matter what he received, he kept complaining. Eventually, people grew tired of his constant grumbling and stopped helping him. The beggar believed that fate was unfair and that he deserved more, but he never made any effort to change his situation. Every day, he just sat there, blaming life without ever asking himself, "What have I done to escape this misery?" As time passed, he remained poor, lonely, and trapped in his own complaints, never realizing that only action could change his fate. The king of the kingdom was a kind ruler who cared deeply about his people. One day he decided to disguise himself as a poor man and travel around to understand their struggles. When he reached the city gate, he heard the beggar complaining as usual. Seeing this, the king had an idea. He approached the beggar and said, "Old man, I am as poor as you, but I know a place where we can get food and gold. Would you like to come with me?" The beggar's eyes lit up with hope, and he eagerly agreed. The disguised king led him to the palace, but since he was in disguise, no one recognized him. When they reached the palace gates, the king said, "Now all you have to do is walk in and say that you are the king. They will give you everything you desire." The beggar was terrified. "But I'm not the king. They won't believe me." The king smiled and replied, "Then why do you always say that if you were the king, you would change everything? Now that you have the chance, why don't you dare to try?" The beggar was stunned. He realized that for years he had been blaming fate, yet he had never taken any real action to change his life. At that moment, the king removed his disguise. The guards immediately knelt before him. The beggar was shocked to discover that his companion was the king himself. But what stunned him even more was the king's question. "When given an opportunity, why didn't you dare to take it?" The beggar lowered his head in shame. For years, he had complained about fate and cursed life's unfairness. He believed that if he had power, he would change everything. But when presented with an opportunity, even a pretend one, he was too afraid to take the first step. The king looked at him with calm but wise eyes. "You always blame life for being unfair, but what have you done to change it? Complaining won't make you better. Only action can change your fate." The beggar felt as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over him. He suddenly realized that he had spent his entire life in resentment and envy, but had never taken a single step to improve his situation. He wasn't poor because of fate. He was poor because of his own mindset. The king did not give him gold, but he offered him an opportunity. "I cannot give you my kingdom, but I can offer you a job in the palace. If you work hard, your life will change." Tears filled the beggar's eyes. He knelt down and thanked the king, not just for his kindness, but for the valuable lesson he had learned. From that day on, he never sat at the city gate complaining again. Instead, he accepted the job in the palace and worked hard to transform his life. Over time, he was no longer a hopeless beggar, but someone who lived a fulfilling life. He finally understood that fate was not determined by circumstances, but by how one chose to face them. This lesson remained in his heart forever. Complaining never moves us forward. Only action can truly change our lives. The beggar's story teaches us a profound lesson about how we view life. First, be grateful for what you have instead of constantly comparing yourself to others. The beggar spent his days envying the rich and blaming fate, never realizing that everyone has their own struggles. If we only focus on what we lack, we will never feel satisfied. Second, opportunities only come to those who dare to seize them. The beggar always said that if he were king, he would change everything. But when given a chance to step forward, he was too afraid. Life does not hand out success for free. Only those who take action can change their destiny. Finally, complaining solves nothing. Only action makes a difference. It was only when the beggar stopped whining and started working that his life improved. Instead of blaming circumstances, take action, because it is our choices, not fate, that determine our future. His story is also the story of many of us. Everyone faces challenges, but the important question is, will you keep complaining or will you rise up and change your fate? Remember, your future is not determined by circumstances, but by the choices you make today. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable life lessons. See you in the next video.